There seems to be a lot going on lately. At least that's been the case for me. So let's slow things down a bit and catch our breath and take a look at some awesome games that are deeply discounted on the eShop. Yes, it's the fall season, and we're in that wonderful time of year that for those who are patient, you get some pretty good games without breaking the bank. Lots of good stuff is on sale lately on the eShop for both Switch 1 and Switch 2 gamers. And for those who have those systems, I've rounded up a quick list of highlights for you in today's video. Let's dive in. Kicking things off for today is the wonderful indie game Moonlighter. This is a top-down action RPG that tasks you on taking the role of Will, a young man who has begun to explore the dungeons near his home in order to find artifacts and goods in order to sell at his family's shop. As Will, there's lots of stuff that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to manage the shop called the Moonlighter, price and sell your goods, interact with villagers of the small hamlet of Rinoka, craft and enchant items, and of course, explore those many dungeons. The mashup of shopkeeping and top-down dungeon exploring and combat might seem like a weird mix on paper, but it actually works out very well. It's got a great gameplay loop, it's a lot of fun to play. I highly recommend this game wholeheartedly. At its current sale price, which is $2.29 in the States, it's super cheap to get, and no-brainer if you like what you see here. The Between Dimensions DLC, which is the expansion for the game, adds a new dungeon, new enemies, new bosses, and lots more, is also super cheap to get currently. At 85% off, it's just a little over $1 here in the States. For a little more than $3 combined, you're getting a real good value here. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, is an excellent JRPG that feels like it takes place inside a Studio Ghibli movie. It's got a good art style, that's for sure, but beyond that, it has a great cast of characters, a very good story with an emotional punch, a wonderful open world to explore, and the combat gameplay is very fun too, with various attacks, magics, and abilities that players can use in battle. It's one of the better JRPGs for the original Switch for sure, and it's one that I highly recommend that you check out. The Princess Edition on Switch includes all the content ever released for the game, as well as all the updates. It's basically the complete package. At less than $10, you're getting a very good JRPG at an excellent deal. If you do have a Switch 2, the game's even better on there, as the Switch 1 version of the game gets boosted to 60 FPS on Switch 2, with faster loading times all around, for a better gameplay experience. And that's all without any need for upgrade pack or anything. All the footage shown here is of the game being played on Switch 2. One look at Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit, and Wonder Labyrinth, and you can see that this Metroidvania is heavily inspired by Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You can definitely see that in the game's visual style, the way that Deedlit, the main character, moves, and in the general gameplay mechanics of the game. That all said, the game does have elements that separates itself from that famous game. Like for example, Deedlit's main form of attacking is using her bow and arrows, which you can use for combat and puzzle solving. And in addition, there's a unique magic system for various spells and abilities that she can cast, as well as an elemental system that has you switching between elements in order to travel through enemy fire in certain puzzles. This is a good indie Metroidvania, it's of nice quality, and I think those who like the genre will get a kick out of this one, regardless if they know anything about the Record of Lodoss War franchise or not. It's currently on sale at its biggest discount it's seen yet, with a discount of 55% off its MSRP price on the eShop until October 8th. Touhou Luna Nights is a Metroidvania that was developed by the same team that made the Record of Lodoss War game that I just talked about. And this one is good for those who want to get to the good stuff in Metroidvanias right away. From early on, you're quickly thrown into the action with this one, with lots of bullets and enemies and projectiles flying at you. Luckily, you can return the favor by firing many projectiles of your own. This game is noted for its incredible sprite work, as well as well-balanced gameplay, excellent combat, and challenging boss battles, as well as the quick tempo nature of the game. There's no drawn out stuff with this one. The running time is 6 to 8 hours. Might seem short compared to other games of the genre, but that's simply because the developer's goal with this one was to cut out the fluff and grind that you usually see with Metroidvanias and have the player keep moving on to the next battle or so. This game sees its biggest discount yet on the eShop, with a discount of 40% off, marking it down to $10.79 on the US eShop. Koei Tecmo recently announced that the Switch version of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is getting a Switch 2 upgrade soon, and it'll be entirely free as well. This update should include visual upgrades, of course, and performance upgrades as well. That said though, the game already seems to run at 60 FPS most of the time on Switch 2 anyway, so hey, I'm not going to complain. They want to make it even better? Go right ahead. If you want to pick the game up ahead of the free Switch 2 upgrade, well, now's a good time, considering that Bandai Namco has the Deluxe Edition going for a deep discount. It's 77% off currently on the eShop. The Deluxe Edition includes the game, as well as the first character pass that adds several new characters to the game. If you're on a budget, then consider picking up the Deluxe Edition over the third game. It includes all the content ever released for the game, and it runs pretty well on Switch 2 out of the gate as well. It's 60 FPS on there. The Deluxe Edition of the third game is less than $5 on the US eShop, which is 88% off the MSRP price. Bandai Namco recently announced that a brand new Katamari Damacy game is coming soon. Actually, it comes out later this month. I'm very hyped for that one. I love this goofy series. Have you ever been curious about the games? Well, a good entry point is the wonderful We Love Katamari plus Royal Reverie, which is an updated version of the second game in the series. It's pretty cheap to get right now. It's going for $7.49 on the US eShop, which means it has a discounted price of 75% off the MSRP. It's a pretty inexpensive way to get into the series. Bandai Namco, through Nintendo, also recently released the GBA game, Mr. Driller 2, on the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Classics app. I guess Bandai Namco has been pretty busy lately. Anyway, it's a fun game, a pretty good way to get a taste of the gameplay for sure, but arguably, the best game in the series is still Mr. Driller DrillLand. This entry in the series is pretty content-packed, as it has several different modes featuring different variations of the classic arcade gameplay, as well as it includes several multiplayer modes to enjoy through both local and online play. It's currently on sale for $4.79 on the US eShop, which at that price, it's a damn good deal for one of the best puzzle games on Switch. Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons is a beat-em-up game just like other games in the Double Dragon series. This one has a number of differences that make it stand out from the other games. It contains roguelike elements for one, as well as it has controlling a tag team of characters as opposed to one singular character. In this game, with your tag team of characters, you are tasked with needing to beat down 4 different gangs, and you can do so in any order you like. As you play, the level layouts will be randomized, as well as enemy placements, items, and more, so each playthrough is going to be unique, hence the roguelike elements. Along the way, you'll be able to choose upgrades for your characters to make them stronger, as well as gain new abilities too, sorta like the Kuni games. You can fully customize the game to your liking, difficulties and all, to make it as easy as you want, or as hard as you like, and there's tons of characters to unlock and play as. In addition, there's both local and online co-op and various modes to enjoy, like survival and versus mode. One final note before I move on, the developers have also done a good job updating this game with free content, like additional characters and such since its release, which has also really helped with the replayability with this one. So between all the unlockables and free updates and content and the roguelike elements, this is a game you can keep coming back to even after you beat it. At its biggest discount of $7.49, I think this is a good buy for beat-em-up fans who are hungry for a new game. Last year, I reviewed Irem Collection Volume 2 for the channel, and I love that it contained the 2 Gunforce games, 2 very fun run-and-gun arcade games that are a bit of a precursor to the Metal Slug series. In fact, they were developed by people who would later go and form the NASCAR Corporation, who would go on to make that famed SNK series of games. What I didn't love about it, though, was the fact that it was priced at $24.99. It's a pricey collection, even with including the Super Nintendo version of the first game and the vertical shooter REROLL. At 50% off though, which makes it $24.99 here in the States via the latest sale, I think that's a much better price for the collection in my view. If you've been waiting for a good sale, well, now is a good time. It's the cheapest it's ever been yet on the eShop. And if you're wondering how good the Gunforce games are, well then make sure to check out my video. I'll leave a link to it down below. Spoiler alert, these are some really good arcade games. One of the Switch's better shoot 'em ups, Roll Gunner, rarely ever seems to get a sale, so it's pretty noteworthy when it does get a discount. The latest sale makes it the cheapest it's ever been yet. It's $5.99 on the US eShop, which makes it 70% off the MSRP price. This is only the third time the game has ever been on sale since 2019. The DLC, which has only been on sale once before, also gets a discount of 70% off too. This game regularly gets into many top 10 lists for shoot 'em ups on Switch for good reason. It's so damn fun to play. Plus the gameplay is a bit unique from other shoot 'em ups out there. See, in this one, the game's gimmick is the ability for you to shoot in 8 different directions, hence the name Rolling Gunner. You can also cancel out bullets with certain attacks too. Because of the ability to attack from many different angles, it also means that enemies in this game will attack you from all directions. It's a shoot 'em up game that will definitely keep you on your toes. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, and Rune Factory 4 Special are 2 cozy farming games that I consider to be some of the very best in the genre on Nintendo Switch. Funny enough, these games are also a remake and remaster of what many consider to be the best games in their respective franchises, so it just makes sense. Both games are super cheap to pick up right now from the eShop. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town is a remake of the very popular GBA game. This remake features a new art style with 3D graphics running at 60 FPS, modern quality of life improvements to make your farm life easier, as well as new content, characters, and events to discover. It's on sale for $9.99, 75% off on the eShop. Rune Factory 4 Special is a remaster of the DS game, and this remaster has the visuals updated to HD with many of the in-game aspects and sprites being improved, along with a much smoother frame rate and new content like new modes, including a new difficulty mode, cutscenes, and such. This is on sale for $8.99. The double pack of Figment 1 plus 2 is on sale for super cheap this week, with a discount of 94% off on the eShop. Both games are action-adventure games with heavy emphasis on puzzle solving, as well as musical elements. Yes, music is a big part of these games, with various singing events and musical boss battles that occur. These games have a lot of charm, with a wonderful presentation about them, and they just feel like a storybook brought to life. At just a few bucks, I think it's a really good deal for these games. Before moving on, I just have a side note about the second game in the bundle, Figment 2. It does operate at 60 FPS when it is played on Switch 2, so the game does get a boost on that system. Through my Switch games boosted on Switch 2 series, one of the games I talked about that received a big boost was a game called Penny's Big Breakaway. The Switch version of the game gets boosted to 60 FPS when it's played on Switch 2. It looks great on there, and the frame rate boost really helps to make the game pop. It certainly complements the fast-style gameplay that is most certainly inspired by the Sonic games. If you've been waiting to pick this game up, it's currently on sale for 50% off on the eShop. All footage shown here is from me playing the Switch 1 version of the game on Switch 2. And there you go, some nice eShop sale highlights to kick off the month of October. Fall is a great time to do some gaming, and hopefully this video helps you out if you've been looking for some new games to play. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, as I got more videos coming your way soon. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next video.